An overly heavy pack makes any hike exponentially harder, and the longer you're hiking, the harder it's gonna get. I've seen way too many people underestimate the weight of their pack, and it ends up derailing their hiking or backpacking trip because it just took too much of a toll on their body. In this video, I'm gonna share a few ways you can very simply lighten your pack weight without sacrificing too much. Let's do it. The first one is actually really simple, but one that not many people will even consider, and that's changing the backpack itself. Some packs are super heavy and you might be carrying around a pack that is way bigger than you actually need. Sizing down your backpack or just straight up finding one that's a bit lighter is gonna save some valuable weight without changing your overall setup much. When I'm purchasing a new pack, the first thing I look for is weight. I'm not looking for anything over a kilo if I can help it. And ideally, I'm gonna get a pack that's only just big enough for the hike I'm gonna be undertaking. Don't go carrying around a 60-litre backpack if you really only need a 40-litre. And when you are shopping for your next pack, take note of the weight, because some packs are gonna be as much as a kilogram heavier than others. All right, the next simple tip is to not overpack food or water. Food and water is gonna be a good chunk of your carried weight, especially on longer hikes. You're obviously gonna be wanting to carry enough of both, but a big mistake I see people make is carrying too much of either. Make sure to do some thorough research on the trail you're planning to hike. How long is it gonna take? What's the weather look like? And what are the facilities along the route? Then you can plan your food and water carried accordingly. If you only need 2 liters of water for a certain section of a hike, but you're carrying 4 or 5, you're just wasting kilograms that you really don't need to be. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely smart to carry an emergency supply of food and water in some situations, but I see a lot of people ending their hike with 2 or 3 kilograms of leftover food or carrying way too much water when they're able to refill regularly. All right, next tip is to not bring too many spare clothes. I think a common mistake, especially new hikers make, is bringing way too many sets of fresh clothes. It's definitely tempting to have a fresh set of clothes for every day on the track or even every couple of days. And if you're not used to being absolutely filthy, it might suck wearing the same clothes for days. But clothes are really heavy, and bringing multiple sets is just gonna add unnecessary pack weight. A lot of the time you're gonna finish a day of hiking and you won't even be bothered to change out of your clothes, and you end up wearing the same set anyway for most of the hike. I reckon just embrace being a little bit filthy, save that pack weight, and you're actually gonna enjoy the hike a lot more. All right, another mistake I see a lot of new hikers make is bringing way too many unnecessary comforts. This one might be a little controversial, and what's unnecessary might be different from person to person. But bringing way too many nice to have items is gonna bulk up your pack really quickly. Personally, I love to rough it when I'm out on the trails, and I'll avoid bringing any modern comforts in favor of a lighter pack. Instead of a pillow, I'll use my pack to rest my head on at night. Instead of bringing a spare set of camp shoes, I'll just go barefoot. Instead of a camping chair, I'll just use a lock or a rod to sit on. You really don't need like an all-in-one multi-tool or a bulky torch or a length of rope. Save some weight and skip the comforts. Once again, depending on the person, the trail, the weather, some of these might be a little bit more necessary, but I'm willing to bet that most of you guys watching are carrying things on your hike that you really don't need. All right, lastly, invest in some ultralight gear. This is probably the most obvious answer in reducing your pack weight, but one that I would recommend as a last resort, especially for new hikers. Swapping your tent, your sleep setup, and your cooking system is gonna save valuable kilograms, but is often gonna be a lot more expensive. I recommend upgrading your gear over time as you gain experience and you're looking to hike longer distance where weight's gonna matter a lot more. I get the majority of my gear from outdoor24.com.au, and it's a great place to get all the gear you'll need for your next hiking adventure. I've linked some of my favorite ultralight options in the description below from Outdoor24, so go have a gander if you're interested in making some upgrades. All right, that's it for this one. Hopefully you guys found it useful. Make sure to leave a comment and a like on this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to catch all my future adventures and other tip videos just like this one. A massive shout out to my legend patron supporters for helping to produce this video. If you're looking to support the channel further, make sure to check out my Patreon profile. It is the first link in the description. Joining up will give you access to some pretty epic rewards, including coming along on my Patreon only backpacking trips. All right guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.